patience, and you're wondering, is the match going to flip-flop as well? Ole Miss, they got all the pressure on them. Illinois State, they're trying to play spoiler, and on the cast are two men who can't get any predictions right. Let's get into the game.
It's a showdown between two teams that have very little to almost no margin for error, each trying to climb their way up the standings to an elusive 8th victory and put as much pressure as they can on Ball State. The Rebels and the Redbirds about to square off.
We talked about implications and things alike going in, but of course, it all matters when you're out here on the field. Who's going to show up and show out?
So important, of course, actually more so perhaps for Ole Miss to take care of business as quick as they possibly can to keep that pressure on Ball State. They're way behind them in game differential, of course, the primary tiebreaker in our Eastern Conference standings, and everybody fighting for that final 6th spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs here for the Fall Championship as this one popped up, and No Mansion should have it away. His less out to Synth, trying to line up a double. He just missed it, and the follow-up there is rolled in and out by Wonder Mike.
I like the good transition plays upfield, though, from Illinois State, seeing them just kind of work around Ole Miss in the midfield, pass things out is always beautiful. Have to be careful, though, on that defensive side. You saw Lunar almost try to see if he could sneak one in. You got to be careful. Ole Miss, I mean, they play at their own style of pace, and you got to at least be able to match that. That's the barrier of entry here in this series.
Mississippi playing at a pace that Illinois State's having a tough time keeping up with, but now they're on the attack. It's No Mansion. Try to bring one central. Lunar's all over it. Sith's got to run back, and he's whiffed on it. CG's not going to get there in time, and Wonder Mike scores.
I mean, it's just that big, congested, corner there. And again, people not on the same page. Seems to get that miss on that back wall. It's a free lane there for Wonder Mike to take advantage of. Ole Miss, first goal.
7-7 record coming in. This is the last regular season matchup for Ole Miss. They will sit back and watch the scoreboard for the next couple of nights, as some of the other matches will likely finish up off stream. As Wonder Mike will lob one to the ceiling. Lunar's right there. C-Money trailing at the back. It'll be his turn to come up in a moment. And it goes right to him. Back to the backboard, and Sith's got to have this one. Got to be sure-handed, and this time he is.
Good read there. Good speed from No Mansion to get there in time. Seeing a lot of No Mansion out in the front, but maybe needs to start getting back here to help more on that defensive side. Good save out from Synth. We see him early up, just trying to really get their bearings straight, so to speak. 50s aren't really going their way. They've been playing a lot of defense here in the opening half. Illinois State under some early pressures. Ole Miss still kind of dictating where this game goes.
CG trying to line one up with the flip reset. C-Money is right there the whole way. Wonder Mike will play it on further. C-Money racing downfield to try and steal boost away from No Mansion, but now he's got to scramble back. C-Money, No Mansion timing up, and it's in from CG. The stop from Lunar, just not enough. And you got to wonder how much of that was helped by C-Money running all the way downfield.
I mean, yeah, some of that is. C-Money's trying to deny boost. Didn't know No Mansion actually on the rotation back picked up that 100. So then he is able to immediately turn, just crashes in on CG's play, says, no, this is my play now. Able to get that off of the crossbar, and then CG can get the follow-up and score. Love that ability to just, on a flip, turn into aggressive offense. This is anybody's ballgame.
Sith's going to turn around on this and got a piece of that from Wonder Mike. Lunar off the ceiling, back down to C-Money, couldn't get on top of it, still trying to line up the double, and it's just barely wide. CG, quick outlet to Sith, quickly downfield, and Lunar is right there, right place at the right time to corral this and buy his teammates time to get back. There goes CG again. Sith now, angle shut down by Lunar. Again, central ball, but nobody's home for it, and C-Money will bounce it away.
No Mansion low on boost. Got a good first touch pass of defense, but that second one went straight to, I believe it was Wonder Mike, ended up getting blocked out. Now we're starting to see both teams, what do they do when they have a moment of space here? No Mansion constantly trying to figure out ways to get in place, but meanwhile, Ole Miss is just pass playing it left and right upfield, trying to increase those shot totals. They're sitting at 5 right now to Illinois State 7.
Sith just gets a piece of this, and No Mansion now, one touch is all he gets as Wonder Mike pops it away. And now CG. No Mansion did grab the midfield boost. He went head hunting, came up empty. Sith now looking to center. No, it's a shot on and saved away by Wonder Mike. Give him a savior medal as this is going to be wrapped around the boards. And CG got one bump, but not the second. And the outlet goes to C Money, who's met by Sith.
Just a little bit of lapses in terms of whether or not they should challenge the ball. Illinois State again forced back. It's been good though to see them get that output, but it still feels like most of the game is kind of spent on their side. Looking to change that though. They've been fighting tooth and nail. Rotations have been clean, but this one a little awkward. What a touch there from No Mansion, getting involved perfectly in order to keep this a level game.
No Mansion waited literally as long as he possibly could to still alter the shot as Lunar gets bounced up to the ceiling. Wonder Mike set up for C Money. He'll turn on this and ultimately a kind of a well-played ball, but Sith wasn't ready for it, and then Lunar's gonna score, and that could be back-breaking for Illinois State as Ole Miss takes the lead with 15 to go.
Yeah, No Mansion sees the ball off the ceiling, says, oh, and he just needs to get a touch, but as soon as he jumps, I think he didn't realize where his car was versus his camera, and it was just a scramble to try to set things up based on that. Good attempt, but unfortunately, backs against the wall for Illinois State. Final 10 seconds. Synth gonna send this across. No Mansion cut off by Lunar. Lunar getting involved, keeping this ball on the orange side. One last chance for it to move downfield, and No Mansion not ready for that catch. That hits the ground. Ole Miss take game one.
Kind of a showcase of missed opportunities there. 7-9 shots for Illinois State, but only the one goal to show for it as the Ole Miss defense was up to the task. They keep Illinois State at bay and hang on for game one, with the game winner ultimately coming from Lunar on that busted play with only 15 seconds remaining. And for the Redbirds now, they kind of look back and think, well, what could have been? But they only have a minute to think about it, as their game differential now drops to -5, which matches Ole Miss. And that number is certainly the number to keep an eye on now because, hey, Illinois State is still very much in the playoff picture. They've only played 12 matches. They come in at 5-7, but they've got to win these next three, and they've got to win by big scores. And dropping a game like that, giving away the game as a gift the way they did in the closing seconds, really runs antithetical to what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I need Ole Miss to get locked in. Well, I mean, I guess they're chilling right now, right? They just took the first game. You can see it on even with the cams from Lunar. Illinois State is the one that kind of needs to be just a little bit more locked in, making a couple of adjustments here. Still, yes, they're able to get the offensive output. The shots have been on target, so to speak, but they haven't been threatening. And I think the big reasoning about that has to do with that possession game. Taking control of the possession game, seeing a little bit more room in the solo department, getting these guys more comfortable in the mechanics could shift things. But right now, Ole Miss, after the game one win, sitting pretty. We'll see how things change in game two.
1 down, 2 to go towards a possible sweep and finishing their season at -3 and hoping that they can get some help against Ball State's 2 remaining opponents. Sith will wait for this coming out of the corner. Good challenge against C Money. Now Lunar, first pop over 1. Sith's got to run back and help out No Mansion. That's a great stop by No Mansion, but played back in by C Money. Back and forth they go as this goes all the way across the field. And Wonder Mike almost got there, forced No Mansion into an awkward play. Lunar is not going to be able to stay with this, but Sith again comes up empty. C Money lining up at oval. No, Wonder Mike is there, and he'll score early.
And this is just pressure from Ole Miss. C Money plays it off the back wall. Lunar tries to intercept or cause some chaos in the net. Sets up a lane for Wonder Mike to score. And again, blue side, Ole Miss strikes first and early as well.
Well, Sith had to take a little detour for that midfield boost, and Lunar watches him go by. Faked the musty and then just rolled it right through where No Mansion had to play it out. Now Lunar again being a pest in the corner, but it's No Mansion looking for the ground pinch. That goes right to Wonder Mike. Didn't have nearly as much on it as No Mansion would have liked. Sith trying to line up a double. He comes up empty. And now C Money there to meet CG. There's the clear from Lunar, and Ole Miss weathers the storm, brief as it was, from Illinois State. Now they're threatening again. 1 to Mike, one more touch, and CG bounces it away.
Wonder Mike always looking controlled whenever you see his car getting involved in some of these plays. Even in some of the most awkward positions, if he goes up, he does have a general sense of an idea of what he wants to do. You even see it on that play. Light touch, bring the ball forward. Let's try to go get a bump. I say that he ended up missing the side boost here, but still, just a big contributing factor as to why Ole Miss have been keeping up in these games. Sometimes is based on Mike's choices, for better or for worse.
Well, here goes Lunar taking his time. No Mansion affording him none. Now C-Money, decoy for one to Mike, and that's cleared away by CG. Opportunity now for the Redbirds to break out with numbers, perhaps, but Lunar, sure-handed at the back, slows everything down. No Money's got to go to work now. Flip reset, got it to the backboard, but could not drop it home. Lunar there on the defense. CG up for Sith. Needs one more touch, coming down, and cleared away.
All Illinois State was missing there was an actual shot. They had everything else.
They had everything else out of the playbook.
Just
here's
need
one.
a shot to come through. Good save there. Simp shot, not too threatening, but they are starting to turn the possession around, I was going to say, at least for the time being. That one, Lunar ends up blocking, and No Mansion has to make a stop on the goal line. He can't. C-Money will force it through, and that's the second goal for Ole Miss.
Oh, boy. Well, they say only a Sith deals an absolute, and Sith got absolutely played there, unfortunately. He ended up way out of the goal by the end of all of that. 2:21 remaining, and Ole Miss doubles their lead and starts to pull away here in this series. Sith trying to get in Lunar's way. Drop down for No Mansion, and they're back in it.
They are back in it. Lots of time in game, and that's a perfect way. I mean, look at that pop from Sith. That was beautiful. It got right past Wonder Mike, able to set himself up past the defense, and No Mansion, tired of waiting. You're down by 2, someone making action, and he crashes the net to score.
Sith at the back again to trigger the counterattack off of this kickoff. And it's No Mansion trying to half flip back into this play. And it's CG now. He's the only one up. Flip reset to try and get by Lunar. He's done enough. No Mansion around the board. Second touch, but nobody's over on the weak side in time to get a shot. Sith will try to keep it alive, but C-Money's there. The demolition on CG certainly helps things, as this is jackhammered deep into the zone, but No Mansion right there. CG full tank of boost. He can come up and challenge this, and he will, but Lunar's right there to meet him as we dip down towards 90 seconds remaining. Illinois State trying to get back into it here. They've got an opportunity in front, but nobody can center this ball at all, so it goes back and forth, in and out of the corner, and finally should be cleared. No, CG's got it. His shot well wide, and that's kind of been the theme, right, Daz? They haven't had shots on and haven't pressured Ole Miss enough.
Yeah, because after all that, they're finally starting to really show signs of panic on the Ole Miss side, but the thing is, they have to all back off. They have to get boost. There was no demo plays that happened in that drive, and I had to be a little careful there because Lunar got that double. Thought he was going to score that one. A minute remaining, though. Still a chance. But Illinois State, they have to understand, you cannot play normal Rocket League against this Ole Miss team. Yes, sure, you can play regular Rocket League, but you're not going to amount to much. You need to take them off the field. You need to get them out of that net, out of the box. Or if you can't do that, just starve them out. They can't do anything if they don't have boost. They've got 36 seconds to try to find a way through. Otherwise, Ole Miss are going to put the series on match point early.
Things are kind of hanging precariously right now in the defensive zone for Ole Miss, but C-Money, good touch out of the zone. Shot from one to Mike is off, and now numbers the other way. 2v1. No Mansion trying to get it quickly through the corner. Nobody in front. CG is way back, and it doesn't matter. Lunar's got it all the way. Back out to midfield, and the bump on CG. So now No Mansion has to bring it himself. Down to 8 seconds. Flip reset, still there, and Lunar gets there ahead of Sith, down to 3 seconds. Time is going to run out here on Illinois State. Lunar and Ole Miss might add one for the road. No time on the clock, and this touches down, and Ole Miss takes another.
And it's so interesting, too. You know, we talk about positioning, second man having to be there. If Sith is just a little closer to that play, it could be a completely different outcome. And that's some of the things that, end up referencing here and there. Now, that being said, there were opportunities over the course of this game, I'd say, for Illinois State to be able to get back into it. I think they kind of got the picture too late, because you even saw, I think it was from CG in that last play forward, someone just going for Wonder Mike who was in the air floating, trying to get a little bit of those bumps, get a little bit more physical, because it is effective. And again, it almost ended up helping equalize the game. The goals that Illinois State did let in weren't ones that required too much mechanical prowess. It was simply out-pressured panic on defense. They got to figure out a way to do that the other way around. Otherwise, we're sitting at a short series here.
So if you're an Ole Miss fan, sure, you're happy to see a 2-0 record right now in this series. Again, if they can get a sweep, they'll finish on -3, which would be 6 game differential points back behind Ball State, or at least where they sit right now. We've actually just gotten word that Akron's JV team has beaten Bruton Parker 3-2. That jumps them up to 6th place and knocks out Bruton Parker. So Akron's second team currently on a -1 game differential, sitting on 7-7. So all these numbers, hey, we'll go over it on the desk, I'm sure, at some point later on here in the evening. But the math is starting to add up here, and it's not looking great for a team like Ole Miss now, who kind of needs Akron to lose their final series.
That's what happens, man. It comes down to the final week. And you play the games for a reason. And they're still playing on here in Illinois State. CG gets this one. Great turn here. Good recognition. Oh, Luna ends up missing this. We got to go as quickly as possible. Got to punish that. Luna tries to correct the mistake, but it's already too late.
By the way, Akron Gold's final series is against Rochester with a record of 2 wins and 10 losses. Good luck. As Lunar, full tank of boost right off the kickoff, lobbing one in. It's cleared away as Ole Miss looks to quickly get this goal back from the opening kickoff. It is CG, demolished by Wanda Mike. Now Wanda trying to send it through the corner, met by No Mansion. It's Lunar. He'll have some work to do to center this ball, and it goes over C-Money's head, but not past Wanda Mike, so CG's got to get in the air, and he does. Oh, that was dangerous out of Sith. He kind of gave that one back to C-Money. Thought he was maybe going to get some air under that ball. Instead, Lunar now from the side. A lot of pressure coming in from Ole Miss, but nothing to show for it through the first minute.
Yeah, I mean, CG had a good demo there to kind of slow the play down, but if they let this through, what is it for? God! We gotta take another look, man. First of all, beautiful pass from Wonder Mike to set that up. He said, Lunar, go get it, and my goodness, he got it. Equalizing goal, but fantastic teamwork between the Ole Miss superstars.
As soon as CG, he put a hand up, but as soon as he didn't get there, you knew No Mansion didn't have a shot. He might have an opportunity here. Out of the corner, and he scores! Oh, what a response!
That's how you respond. Oh my, pick this up, dusted, did a beautiful double on C-Money's head top. Okay. I think that woke everybody up a little bit here.
Can name that tune in 2 notes. 2-1 now. Back in front are the Illinois State Redbirds. CG given away. Now Lunar through the corner finally gets back under control of his car, and Wonder Mike only could get a piece. It is Synth and No Mansion kind of stumbling over each other in the air. C-Money pumps the brakes, and here he goes. Met by CG, and nobody else there for Ole Miss, so No Mansion up into Synth. Teamwork coming out. Top right slammer.
I mean, the infield pass. Great positioning from Synth. Great communication as well. And of course, beautiful execution on both. No Mansion, pass down. It's gonna give Synth that extra power to make the shot so much harder for the defender to save. Beautiful stuff.
And so very quickly, about 90 seconds gone by in Game 3, a game that Illinois State has to win to have any hope of a miraculous comeback in the standings. They are doing just that and trying to prolong their life in the Eastern Conference run. It is Wanda Mike trying to play that for himself, and now CG's got No Mansion downfield, high off the backboard. Sith's got it lined up and met by Wanda Mike, who just got there in the nick of time.
Still a long time left in the
read.
game. Yeah, that read's crazy. That pre-jump was crazy too. CG just been all over trying to make as many off-ball plays as possible for Illinois State. But No Mansion, up quick, shot, bang! Another one for Illinois State. This is a 4-1 score line. We're not even halfway through, ladies and gentlemen.
Split the defense right down the middle two converging, two looking. 3-goal lead for Illinois State. Back against the wall. One of the toughest things to do is put away a team for good. Sith just got there ahead of Lunar. 1 to Mike on target, easily sent away, but the demolition there will cut out Sith. Now 1 to Mike, has to jump in there, crisscross with Lunar. Second touch needed, maybe another one as well. He'll sledgehammer that down to the ground, but it's no mansion. Over to CG, and well done to get this at least to the center line. But now Ole Miss got to start digging deep into the old bag of tricks because they cannot afford to drop any games at this point. 1 to Mike, C-Money, deep in their own corner, centering pass, nobody over there. They're very patiently waiting for a rebound to come all the way up to midfield. And I think now Illinois State can kind of sit back and go, all right, come challenge us, because the sense of urgency has to be there for Ole Miss.
It does. I mean, the biggest thing that's getting them right now, they weren't looking for the passes. Yeah, it's a little awkward. And that goes in. Okay.
Goaltender interference. Can we review this?
Shot.
Pop, get out of here.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
2-goal game. 143. Ole Miss got plenty of time, especially with the amount of pressure we know they're capable of inflicting upon the Illinois State defense. CG going to take his time. That's an uncomfortable ball. Lunar is right there. C-Money waiting to come up as well. Lunar's going to call his own number. It's deflected away by Sith. Well done. And now No Mansion quickly downfield, forces 1 to Mike into retreat mode. And Ole Miss watching the seconds tick away. Those opportunities are going to be few and far between. Got to make the most of them. Lunar got Sith into the goal, but the ball does not follow just yet. 1 to Mike, can't force it through Sith. C-Money will try his luck. Got Lunar waiting for a pass. Will it ever get there? No, it goes all the way across.
Ooh, sent a little late. No Mansion actually thought Sims was there on time, so he has to slow down. He was on the back wall. Doesn't amount to anything, though, for Ole Miss. Final minute. And Lunar trying to practice his cycle skills because it feels like the Illinois defense is starting to lock down. Ole Miss are going to give it their last few chances here. If they can score with time, all they need to do is score with time. But so far, they have yielded no results as we approach the final 30 seconds.
CG's got to be real careful with this, and he got a piece of that, but it fell right to C-Money, who gets him back within 1.
With 31 on the clock, things are starting to look up a little bit here from Ole Miss. You see a little bit of interference, but C-Money was in the right place at the right time. Shot placement, pristine. Everything you need, but they need a little bit more. One more goal to tie things up.
He spent all that time.
Oh, no,
CG coming in off the kickoff, and nobody was there to guard the back door. Here they are on the kickoff, and whoops, nobody home, and it's a 2-goal game again.
Oh, man, you can see it. They drew up a kickoff play on the side of Ole Miss. Then they just went away from it, and it just didn't. Yeah, like there's one thing to like call a play; it's another thing to execute it. The execution was lacking. CG, you give him a free shot, he showed you he can execute every single time. 3 for 3 from CG, and a 6-goal game from Illinois State. They were potentially on the brink of elimination there. Ole Miss was starting to come back, but I think they've kind of solidified things with a couple of kickoffs going their way.
So remember, with Akron Gold sitting at 7-7, of course they still need to win their last series, but again they get Rochester. You have to favor them in that matchup. Ole Miss is going to drop back to -4, regardless of what happens here in the final few seconds, as Illinois State stays alive here in their 13th series of the season. This ball will finally touch ground at some point, and we will head on to Game 4. And a little more sweat on the brow of everybody as they watch their playoff pictures start to kind of fade away.
At least you start to see Ole Miss not going out without a fight. There will be no sweep here. CG put on a crazy performance, but of course he wasn't alone. Everybody from Illinois State just excelling when they need to. Even with Ole Miss striking back, completely in form. and maybe even having a chance to force a Game 5. Ole Miss, it definitely was a wake-up call for them. We'll see how they adjust. Still able to close out the series, but of course, being consistent over the course of like 5 minutes is going to be so important.
Yeah, boy, if No Mansion starts clanging those from deep in the corner, this is going to be a long end to the series for Ole Miss. But you get this reset here after the minute. You just got to keep in mind where the tiebreakers are now for Ole Miss. And granted, they can't worry about what Akron does or doesn't do. They've got to worry about taking care of business here as we go to Utopia. But Akron holds the head-to-head tiebreaker over Ole Miss. So it's imperative that, first of all, Ole Miss gets to 8 wins, and then somehow they fade a lot of results. Take care of business as best you can now. That's the mission statement for the Rebels. Lunar trying to go to work. No Mansion not going to give him any time to work with. And here come the Redbirds.
All right, start been pretty slow. Like what I'm seeing here, at least from Ole Miss, in terms of transition-wise, being able to play the ball out. Some dangerous zones, but you're starting to see a little bit of setups from Illinois State. Those passing plays were key to their victory in Game 3. Can Ole Miss receive those, intercept those, get in front? Or will we continue to see Illinois State just kind of work with what could be their new bread and butter?
Lunar, decent center pass, but instead it was Sith all over it. CG, maybe lining up a second touch. No Mansion's there, and Lunar's going to try to keep this out of the center. Instead, he brought it right to mid, and then finally pinched out by one to Mike. Race to the corner boost, won by Mike, but nobody there for that strong pass. It leads to this out of Lunar, and a save by CG.
Good save out. One to Mike still, though, with that control. Playing it so close, it can get it into the midfield, but not amounting to much of anything again. This one, play in an open space. Sith will pop the ball high, but large doubts for anyone to be able to receive it on the orange side. They got to sit and wait. Infield pass to No Mansion. CG trying to wrap around it to get back to No Mansion. 1-2-1. What a play from Illinois State.
CG gets his first assist of the series, the selfless extra pass over to No Mansion. Ole Miss didn't know what hit him. And it's Illinois State in front with 3.5 to go. And Lunar just kind of almost looked like he blew a tire on that kickoff. This will fall right to CG. He'll carry it in. Lunar there to stop him. Did not bite on any of the slow play. And now Ole Miss got to recover here as the clock ticks down to 3 minutes.
Again, that level of execution, looking for your teammates, so key. You're starting to see why. Now, Illinois State, this might be the first time in the series where they've scored first. Able to continue to keep that up. Hopefully, you see Lunar, though. He's buying his time. CG and Synth have both been really well in the net defensively. Can they continue to output? That ball from one to Mike, high up. He was third man on the play. Now trying to keep the ball alive. C-Money waiting for a chance to get involved, but instead will have to take the ball back to his own half in order to keep up a little bit of control. Pass to the shot from Synth is going to be blocked away too. Quick plays being created here by Illinois State as they're trying to extend their 1-goal lead.
Seeing more physical plays as well from Ole Miss, but it's just not yielding anything for the Rebels. This will bounce up for No Mansion just ahead of C-Money. Little floater that CG got to. And now Lunar beats Sith by a mile. Try to line up a double. No. Follow up from C-Money. Slow bouncer in. And we're all tied up.
This is tough. You can't blame No Mansion here. I mean, he's on the rotation back. He is over the ball. If he just jumps a little bit higher and plays the ball, potentially could get that out. Meanwhile, C-Money just bearing down, waiting for that little bounce. Got exactly what he wanted. Ole Miss in this game. But things can shift. Just a moment's notice.
Well, No Mansion will try to pop this away. Just get it central. Now it's thrown back in, and Lunar's got to jump for it. Had a little communication there between Lunar and C-Money over who was going to go for that ball. Now one to Mike with Lunar trying to run lead blocker. That doesn't work out. Leaves C-Money all alone at the back. CG's going to collect this. He's got Sith behind him, and he'll be called into action here against Lunar. Good read by Lunar. Second touch got down to one to Mike, and they can drop this deep into the zone, but can they get any offense out of it? kind of feeling like Illinois State in past games where they're getting everything except the actual shot.
Yeah, they're getting close. They're getting the physicality. They're dodging the demos, but that shot hitting the mark. They still starting to play a goal miss here. Sends a big touch needed here, and he misses. Wonder Mike will push it to the top right corner, and Ole Miss take the lead.
I feel like they've been kind of attacking this matchup a lot and finally get through one. Just their third shot of the game, but the second goal, and all that matters is that their number is bigger than the Redbirds. 2-1 lead now with a minute 17. No Mansion and Sith not on the same page. No Mansion ends up getting the midfield boost, but that's not much of a consolation. He's got to use most of it to get into position again.
Midfield
Now Sith and CG. CG, I think, got bumped from behind.
Oh, such a good idea, but again, too many cooks in the kitchen. You have two people going up. You have No Mansion who's like waiting for a pass. So one guy's like, I should shoot. The other guy's like, I can pass to No Mansion. Extra pass always works. And then you just get that combustion of whatever we just watched. And now they got to try again. Not too much time here on the clock. We're already under the final minute. They need something effective on the side of Illinois State. Otherwise, it's GG.
Well, Seth had his pocket picked by Lunar, and that was almost fatal. No Mansion picked away by Lunar. CG the follow-up. Well, No Mansion was still there, but he ran through looking for contact. Found none. Sith now all the way across. Double demo between CG and Wonder Mike. So this high bouncer burns a few more seconds. Tick-tock goes the clock, and then one more shot. No, it's sent away. Wonder Mike thought about turning. No Mansion finally met by Wonder Mike. No time on the clock, and this series is over. Ole Miss gets the win they needed, but not in the time they needed.
They sure do. A breath of relief that they've won the series, but also hold on for the smiles because there's still more games to be played. They've done their part here in this series, though. They handled business. Illinois State, even though it's an unfortunate loss, they really made Ole Miss work for it. You got to give them that.
They sure did. And listen, I mean, they already had kind of a tough task ahead of them. They came into the day playing their final two matches of the regular season at a -8 game differential. I mean, they had dropped some series probably a little more convincingly than they would have liked, and that kind of put them behind the 8 ball, but they come out +2 in this one. They will settle on -4 as we look back at how Ole Miss finally got the job done. When all was said and done, it was just a couple of little lapses defensively out of Illinois State, and that big win by Lunar to set up Wonder Mike. One more for the road for the Rebels, who now sit at 8-7, but they will be scoreboard watching for the rest of the next, say, 48 hours.
And things continue to heat up. While they get a chance to rest, more matches are going to continue to be played on as league play is slowly counting down. I've seen so many screenshots of how the results are changing as matches come in. You're hearing matches being updated while we're watching this particular match. So definitely so much to follow here. And the picture will start becoming a lot more clear once we get all the other matches done in order.
All-State comes up a little bit later on. They'll have a lot to say about this Eastern Conference playoff picture. But first, we've got to swap over to the Western Conference as we see Columbia and St. Edwards. Kind of a heavyweight battle in the Western Conference. That's coming your way as CRL rolls on.